What's up, guys? We are back with a full slate of MLB action here on Wednesday, June 4th. We're going to give out plays on every MLB game on the slate. I'll give you my dog of the day and pick out my massive lock, my pick that regardless of price, I think has the highest chance of cashing today. Slam that like button and subscribe to the channel if you want to keep seeing these videos every single day, and let us know what you're thinking in the comments. I personally answer every comment every single day. Check the pinned comment throughout the day to see our favorite picks, and it pays to check back a couple of times per day to see if there are any changes with injury news coming out and starters being confirmed. Yesterday, guys, we're off to a pretty good start. Haven't lost a game yet. We had the Angels at plus 120. They come away with a 4-3 win in 10 innings. Boston had 3 errors, and Kikuchi was pretty decent, and the Angels bullpen really held things down for us. So definitely taking a nice win there to start the day, and plus 120, not too bad of a price. We had the under there in that Rangers-Tampa Bay game. Under 8 came through comfortably with a 5-1 win for Tampa Bay, so we'll definitely take the win there on that under. We've still got the Padres live at plus 124. We've still got the Dodgers live at minus 140, and they've built a nice little lead early in the game. We've got the Orioles at plus 135 as our dog of the day, and they're currently threatening in the top of the 5th, so we'll see how that goes. We've got the Yankees as a win already, guys. The Yankees at minus 180 was our massive lock of the day. It was a little bit close, a 3-2 win. Rodon was lights out, and that's kind of why I thought they would be, in for a comfortable win here. The bats didn't really show up, but a couple of home runs help us put up the win. So another win there on the lock of the day. So let's go ahead and hop in. We've got a full slate out there on Wednesday, and we're going to dive right here into the first game of the night, and that's going to be the Colorado Rockies going on the road to take on the Miami Marlins. The Rockies come to this game winning 2 in a row, winning that series against the Marlins, already locked in. They'll definitely take it. It's been a rough season. They're handing the ball in this game to Kyle Freeland, who's 0-8 this year, a 5.72 ERA. His last start, he wasn't terrible against the Mets, but 6 innings, 7 hits, and 3 earned runs is not usually going to be good enough to get you a win when you're pitching for the Rockies. So he's going to have to try and be very, very good. He's been decent in a few of his recent starts, but also has gotten shelled in starts against teams like the Yankees and the Tigers. Not somebody that you can lock in for a good outing. Now, the bullpen situation for the Rockies, not nearly as bad as last season, a 4.05 bullpen ERA. Borderline respectable. The offense has been the main problem this year. Now they've scored 6 and 3 runs respectively in each of their last 2 games, but they're last in the majors in runs scored, last in batting average, and last on base percentage. So you can pretty safely take this team as the worst offense in the major leagues. We'll see what they can do here against the Marlins, who obviously have lost a couple in a row, up to 3 in a row now. They're hitting the ball to Cal Quantrill, who's 3-5 this year, a 5.84 ERA. His last 3 starts, at least 3 out of his last 4 starts, maybe even all 5 of his last 5 starts have been very reasonable. A good outing his last time on the mound against the Giants. 5 innings, 8 hits, but only 2 earned runs. 7 strikeouts there as he pitched his way out of trouble. So liking what we've been seeing from him. We'll see what he gets up to here against, kind of a red-hot Rockies team. He hasn't faced them yet this year. The Marlins bullpen's been a huge problem, a 4.53 bullpen ERA. Definitely, a huge, lots of room for concern there. The offense has not been too good either. They're currently tied for 22nd in the majors in runs scored, 20th in slugging percentage. They're 12th in batting average, but they scored 2, 4, 2, 1, and 0 runs over their last few games. Not the kind of team you should be worried about at the plate. So looking at the numbers for this game, the Rockies are plus 115. The Marlins are minus 134. We've got totals out there of 8 or 8.5. The Rockies are 4-28 on the road. That's an MLB worst road mark. They're 21-10-1 to the under on the road. That's an MLB best to the under. The Marlins are 14-18 at home, 17-16 to the over at home. In terms of a side in this game, I don't know that I can really justify getting off of the Rockies. So I guess give me Colorado at plus 115. They're playing their best ball this season right now, but I don't really care about that too much. I will take under 8.5 in this spot. I think we'll see offense be at a premium in this game, but really not a spot that I'm finding, too much value on at the moment. Next up, we've got an NL Central showdown between the Brewers and the Cincinnati Reds. Unfortunately, no numbers out yet for this game. The Brewers won Game 2 of this series 4-2, or lost Game 2 of this series 4-2, snapping their winning streak. So that's a little bit tough, but, things like that are going to happen. They've played well down the stretch this season, or at least recently this season. It's being reported they're hitting the ball to DL Hall in this game. He's normally a relief pitcher. He's made 1 start and 1 relief appearance this year. His last time on the mound was back on the 30th against the Phillies, and he was lights out over 3 innings. So we'll see what he can do, see if they're going to stretch him out and let him out there even longer in this one. The bullpen from Milwaukee is starting to get a little bit better, but a 4.49 bullpen ERA is still pretty terrible. The offense for the Brewers has been all over the place this season. The numbers on the year look great. 8th in runs scored, but 21st in batting average and 25th in slugging percentage. I feel like paint a more accurate picture. Not exactly an elite level offense. So we'll see what they can do here against the Reds. They come into this game fresh off of that win. It was a much needed win. They're 30-32 on the year, so hovering around 500, not having a nightmare season, but also not really putting themselves in contention. Now, they'll hand the ball to Andrew Abbott in this game. He has been amazing this year. 5-0, a 1.51 ERA. He has given up a total of 2 earned runs over his last 5 starts combined. The Reds are only 3-2 over those outings, but he has been excellent this season, dominating the Cubs in back-to-back starts against them. He hasn't faced the Brewers yet this year, but I think Andrew Abbott comes into this game probably with a whole lot of confidence. The bullpen for the Reds, while it looked amazing earlier in the year, hit some pretty massive bumps in the road, but they're rebuilding, already down to a 3.93 bullpen ERA. I think this is a pretty solid unit. I think they're going to be absolutely fine out there. And the offense, that's where the questions start to pop up for this team. They're currently 9th in the majors in runs scored, but 15th in on-base percentage, team batting average of 244, 15th in slugging percentage. They're okay. We're liking the development we're seeing from Elly De La Cruz this season, but really not an offense that you can lock in and be like, this is going to be a great unit. So looking at the numbers for this game, unfortunately, we don't have any. Both teams are showing trends towards the under, and I don't hate the under in this game, probably depending on what number we end up with. So keep an eye on this one. Check back the pinned comment. There's a few games on this video, on this slate, that don't have numbers out yet that could end up in the pinned comment. Next up, we're looking at the Los Angeles Angels going on the road to take on the Boston Red Sox. Slam that like button if you loved cashing the Angels there at plus 120 yesterday. A very solid win there in extra innings on a kind of significant underdog. The Angels 28-32 on the year. They have won the first 2 games of this series. They'll hand the ball in this one to Jose Soriano, who's 4-5 on the year, a 3.41 ERA. His last start, very good against Cleveland, guys. He was on the road, 6 innings, 4 hits, no runs allowed. So solid stuff there. And he's had some dominant outings mixed in with some kind of mediocre ones. We'll see what he can do here against the Red Sox, not a team he's faced yet this season. The Angels' bullpen's obviously been a huge problem, but they're starting to get a little bit better, down to a 5.80 bullpen ERA. Obviously doesn't look amazing, but steps in the right direction. Offensively, 4, 7, 2, 5, and 4 runs over their last few games. They're not lighting the world on fire, but Trout coming back and looking good. They're up to 20th in the majors in runs scored, 9th in slugging percentage, but the batting average on-base percentage numbers paint a picture of a pretty bad offense. So we'll see what they can get up to here in Game 3 against the Red Sox, who are 29-34 on the year. They're having a very disappointing season. They'll hand the ball in this game to Lucas Giolito, who's 1-1 on the season, a 4.78 ERA. His last couple of starts have been very good. 3 out of his last 4 have been excellent. Now, he did struggle there against Atlanta, but his last time out, 4 2/3 innings, gave up only a single earned run at Atlanta in a 5-1 win. So definitely some positives there in terms of, no history for him against the Angels this season. The Boston bullpen has been a little bit weird. I mean, over the course of the year, still a 3.47 bullpen ERA, but just somehow not a bullpen that I can truly trust, even though those season-long numbers would indicate a pretty decent pen. The offense is where the problems have been. They've dealt with injuries, don't get me wrong, but man, it's been a little bit rough, guys. They're still 6th in the majors in runs scored, but all the way down to 10th in on-base percentage and 10th in batting average. Over the last few games, they've scored 3, 6, 3, 0, 5, and 5 runs. I know that doesn't look terrible, but it just doesn't feel like this is a team that can come up with offense when they need it. So, looking at the numbers for this game, the Angels are plus 110. The Red Sox are minus 130. We've got totals out there of 9.5 or 10. The Angels, 17-17 on the road, 20-14 to the over on the road. Boston, 16-15 at home, 16-13 2 to the under at home. I would lean more towards under 10 than over in this game for sure. I don't know that I like that enough to put it in the pinned comment. Now, in terms of a side, Giolito's been throwing the ball really well recently. The Angels are probably due for a little bit of a letdown, but Soriano's been pretty good as well. So this is a little bit of a tough spot. I am going to lean just slightly towards the Red Sox at minus 130 to avoid a 3rd straight loss, but not a play that I have any confidence in at all. Hopping in here with a quick shout out to the sponsor of today's video, and that is StumpTheSpread.com. Click the link in the description to go over there and see the top confidence picks from our entire team of experienced cappers. Right now, our premium members are getting daily MLB, NBA, NHL, and UFC picks. Major League Baseball has been our most profitable sport the last 3 years in a row, and actually probably more years than that if I'm being honest. But overall, guys, it's a very solid value. We have a premium capper over there who is not me. I know that's probably not going to shock a lot of you, but is not me, and he has many more years of experience, some very sophisticated tools and algorithms that he uses to make his predictions, and he's taking every possible decision point into account, guys. Weather, history against lefties, history against righties, specific history against given pitchers or at given stadiums, you name it. he is taking it into account. So definitely worth your time to go over there, check out a premium membership at stumpthespread.com. Also, just go over there to see the free stuff too, guys. There are exclusive free picks that are only posted over there at stumpthespread.com under the free picks tab. There's our free to use bet size calculator. Also, you can go over there and sign up for a free account. All you need is your name and your email address, and you'll be on our email newsletter list, which will get you free pick, or at least one free pick straight to your inbox every single day, as well as all kinds of other information on like niche betting on like sports like NASCAR, golf, tennis, you name it, it's a possibility. Also, parlays are often thrown in there too. No run first inning parlays, UFC parlays, all kinds of parlays. It's just very, very good information, and it's straight to your inbox with no effort from you. So definitely worth checking that out. Also, if you're a huge fan of what we do here every single day, you can sign up for a channel membership by clicking the little join button right below the video. Channel members get access to our members-only giveaways. We'll be giving away a Stump the Spread hoodie here on June 6th. We'll be giving away another one on June around 20th, sometime around the third week of June. And if we can get up to 80 channel members, guys, we'll be doing 3 giveaways this month. Right now, we are sitting at 81 channel members. So looking like we're going to be doing 3 giveaways this month. Very, very worth your while to get in on those. And also, we don't even sell Stump the Spread merch, so really winning one of these giveaways as a channel member is your only chance to get that right now. So definitely consider signing up for that, and let's dive back in. We got a full slate here on Wednesday, so let's get back after it, looking at the Houston Astros going on the road to take on the Pittsburgh Pirates. The Astros come into this game fresh off a 3-0 win in Game 1. McCullers out dueling Skeens for that one, so a pretty cool game there. The Astros will hand the ball here to Ryan Gusto, who's 3-2 on the year, a 4.62 ERA. He is not looking amazing, if we're being honest. They're trying to transition him into being a starter, and it's been a bit of a rough transition. The last 5 games he's pitched in have all been losses for the Astros. His last time out, 3 2/3 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned runs against the Tampa Bay Rays. So we'll see what happens with Gusto, but he's not looking great. Now, obviously, the Astros bullpen's been pretty solid, but it's been hitting some bumps in the road lately, so not a lot of positives going on right now for Houston. They did win their last game, and they've won their last 2, but they've scored 3, 1, 3, 2, and 3 runs over their last few. Like, the offense is sputtering. They're down to 21st in the majors in runs scored and 16th in slugging percentage. So we'll see what they can do here against the Pirates. Obviously not the best team in the majors this year. They're 22-39 on the season. Hitting the ball in this one to Mike Burrows. He's 0-1, an 8.64 ERA. He's made 2 starts this season, and both have gone pretty poorly for him. I mean, 5 innings, 4 hits, 4 earned runs against Milwaukee. 3 1/3 innings, 5 hits, 5 runs, 4 of which were earned against Arizona. So we'll see what he can do. This young 25-year-old still finding his way here in the majors. The Pirates' bullpen hasn't been amazing either. A 4.52 bullpen ERA is not great. And the offense has been pretty mundane, guys. 28th in the majors in runs scored, 26th in batting average, last in the majors in slugging percentage. Just not a lot of great things to say about the Pirates right now. So looking at the numbers for this game, the Astros are minus 134. The Pirates are plus 120. We've got a total of 9 in this one. Houston, 10-15 on the road, 13, 10, and 2 to the under on the road. The Pirates are 13-16 at home, 15, 14, and 1 to the under at home. I'm not too interested in the total here, but I'll definitely lean towards the Astros at minus 134. I am not looking to back the Pirates really anytime right now, and Mike Burrows has given me even more reason to lean towards the Astros. So probably not making the pinned comics. I don't love Ryan Gusto on the mound for Houston, but definitely not a spot I'm backing the Pirates. Next on the dock, we're looking at the Chicago Cubs going on the road to take on the Washington Nationals. The Cubs come into this one playing great. They've won 3 in a row and 7 of their last 8. They won Game 1 of the series 8-3, and they're handing the ball to Matthew Boyd in this one. He's 5-2 this season, a 3.08 ERA. He's come off a very good start. It was against the Rockies, but we'll give him a little bit of credit regardless. Over his last 5 outings, I'm not going to say he's looked dominant, but he's looked very, very serviceable, and the Cubs are 4-1 over those starts. So a lot of good stuff for Boyd. The Cubs bullpen, while it hasn't been amazing, is starting to make some progress, I suppose. I mean, they're down to a 3.57 bullpen ERA, but just doesn't feel like a unit I can completely trust. So we'll be keeping an eye on the bullpen. In terms of the offense, that's not a problem, guys. They've scored 8, 7, 2, 2, 2, 4, and 3 runs over their last few games. So kind of a down stretch for a team that's second in the majors in runs scored, third in slugging percentage, third in on-base percentage. Guys, this is an elite-level offense. I am not too worried about them. Michael Bish hitting his 9th homer of the season there, driving in 3 runs, finished a double shy of the cycle in Game 1 of the series. Loving life if you're the Chicago Cubs right now. They'll take on the Nationals in this game, who have lost 2 in a row. They'll hand the ball to Mackenzie Gore, who's 2-5 this season, a 3.16 ERA. His last start was against the Mariners. He was lights out over 6 innings. 6 innings, 4 hits, 8 strikeouts. Doesn't get much better than that. And 4 out of his last 5 starts have been pretty dominant. I mean, I don't know if I can count giving up 10 hits against Baltimore dominant, but he did strike out 9 in that game, and we did see the Nationals win that one 4-3. So We'll see what he can do here against the Cubs. Obviously, not the easiest out for anyone. He hasn't faced him yet this season. Even if Gore has a good outing, we do worry about the Nationals bullpen, and ERA just shy of 6, so that's not the best look. And the offense has been really all over the place. They're 11th in the majors in runs scored. They scored 3, 1, 11, 9, 9, 9, and 1 over their last few games. Seems like they might be cooling off a little bit, which makes sense for a team that's 19th in batting average and 19th in on-base percentage. So, looking at the numbers here, the Cubs are minus 135, the Nationals are plus 115. We've got a total of 8.5. The Cubs are 17 and 11 on the road. That's an MLB best mark on the road. They're 17, 9, and 2 to the over on the road. That's also an MLB best. Washington, 13 and 14 at home, 15, 12, and 1 to the over at home. Guys, I'll lean slightly towards the Cubs in this game. I do like Mackenzie Gore on the mound there for the Nationals a little bit, but when you look at who he's been having these good outings against, it loses a little bit of its shine. I think we could see him have a rough day here against the Cubs, so definitely considering the Cubs here at minus 135. Next up, guys, we got the Cleveland Guardians going on the road to take on the New York Yankees. The Yankees came through for us with a 3-2 win in Game 1 of this series, so smash that like button if you enjoyed cashing our lock of the day there on Tuesday. The Guardians come into this game 32 and 27 on the year, hitting the ball to Luis Ortiz, who's 2 and 6 this season, a 4.40 ERA. His last start was excellent. I mean, he went 6 dominant innings against the Angels, 6 innings, only 1 earned run allowed, but that was a 4-1 loss there for Cleveland. He's looked decent in, I would say, 3 out of his last 4 starts, but I don't know if I'm really ready to sign up for a whole big dose of Luis Ortiz. Going up against the Yankees here, obviously not the easiest task. The last time he faced them, it was a 5-1 loss for Cleveland, and he didn't get out of the 5th inning. So, I mean, I don't know. It wasn't a terrible start, but definitely not putting his team in a position to win. The Guardians' bullpen, not nearly as good as last season. A 3.91 bullpen ERA leaves tons of room for improvement. And the offense, well, it's looked a little bit better recently, is still not great. 24th in the majors in runs scored, 24th in batting average. I mean, they scored 2, 4, 7, and 1 runs over their last few games. So, probably going to have to score a little bit more than that to take down the Yankees, who come into this one 37 and 22 on the year. Chisholm coming back. Definitely a big reason for celebration there for the Yankees fans. They'll hand the ball in this one to Clark Schmidt, who's 2 and 2 this season, a 3.95 ERA. His last time out, he was dominant against the Angels. 6 innings, 4 hits, no runs allowed. Hasn't given up more than 3 earned runs in any of his last 5 starts, and the Yankees are 3 and 2 over those starts. So I think we can feel pretty positive about him. In terms of his history against Cleveland this year, it's not good. Back early in the season, 4 innings, 7 hits, 5 earned runs allowed. So that is definitely a reason for concern here. The Yankees' bullpen's been pretty good. Not dominant like it was in the early goings, but pretty good. And the offense, that's where the Yankees really shine, guys. It's been nuts. Aaron Judge down to batting .387 with 21 home runs and 50 RBIs. They're 3rd in the majors in runs scored, 1st in on-base percentage, 2nd in slugging percentage. You get the picture here, guys. The Yankees, they can hit the ball. So, looking at the numbers here, guys, we see the Guardians at plus 155, the Yankees at minus 178. We've got a total of 9 out there. Cleveland is 15 and 15 on the road, 15, 12, and 3 to the over on the road. The Yankees are 18 and 9 at home, 17 and 11 to the under at home. I'm not interested in the under in this game. I'm much more interested in over 9. Both players have pretty mediocre history against this opponent this season. Both teams are hitting the ball a little bit. I mean, maybe the Yankees aren't hitting a little bit better, but the Yankees are the Yankees, guys. So definitely my main lean in this one is going to be over 9 and maybe a tiny look there at the Yankees, but not a ton of confidence on that. Rolling right along, we've got the Philadelphia Phillies going on the road to take on the Toronto Blue Jays. The Phillies came out firing in Game 1. Harper homers in his return is a pretty good look. Turner goes deep twice, pretty crazy stuff. The Phillies 37 and 23 on the year, hitting the ball in this one to Mick Abel, who's 1-0 to start his young season here. He dominated the Pirates, 6 innings pitched, 5 hits allowed, struck out 9, and walked 0. So that was against the Pirates. Let's not freak out too much, but bro definitely earned himself another start in the majors, I'll tell you what. Now, the Phillies' bullpen has been a problem. All year long, a 4.67 bullpen ERA is not exactly what you're looking for, but they're trying out there. At least they're trying. Now, the offense is where this team looks to dominate, guys. They're 7th in the majors in runs scored. They are 5th in batting average, 4th in on-base percentage. This is looking like one of the craziest offenses in the majors. And it looks like they're back on track after, putting up 8 runs there in Game 1 of this series. So we'll see what they can do here on the road against the Blue Jays in Game 2. Toronto, 31 and 29 on the year. They had a 5-game winning streak going there, but that got broken there in Game 1. They'll hand the ball to Jose Barrios here in Game 2. He's 2 and 2 this season, a 3.86 ERA. He's come off a very good start against the Athletics, 6 innings, 2 hits, and no runs allowed. But pitching against the Athletics and pitching against the Phillies, just a slightly different experience. So we'll see what happens in this one. I'm not necessarily expecting miracles from Berrios, but I am expecting him to be decent. Now the Phillies bullpen, obviously we talked about, is terrible. The Toronto bullpen, not so bad. A 3.40 bullpen ERA. Very, very respectable stuff there. The offense is where they've struggled, and while it's looked a lot better recently, that was against the Athletics. Is it going to look better here against the Phillies? We'll see. I'm a little bit concerned for them. They're still 16th in the majors in runs scored, 7th in batting average, 8th in on-base percentage, so maybe this is a secretly good offense, and we just haven't really seen it too much yet. So, looking at the numbers for this game, guys, the Phillies are minus 105, the Blue Jays are minus 115. We've got a total of 9 out there. The Phillies are 17-11 on the road, 17-10-1 to the under on the road. Toronto, 20-12 at home, 21-12 to the over at home. Guys, maybe I'm overreacting here a little bit, but I loved what I saw from Mick Abel in his, season opening start. So the Phillies at minus 105 seems like an excellent spot to me. I know Berrios has been decent, but I don't think he's been dominant, and this Phillies offense can hit it against anyone. Give me the Phillies here at minus 105. Next on the docket, guys, we're looking at the Arizona Diamondbacks going on the road to take on the Atlanta Braves. The Diamondbacks come into this game fresh off an 8-3 win there at Atlanta in Game 1. It hasn't been smooth sailing for Arizona recently. They're handing the ball in this one to Merrill Kelly, who's 5-2 on the year, a 3.78 ERA. He's coming off a couple rough starts, though, struggling at the Cardinals and struggling against the Nationals. Not exactly the best look for somebody who's been probably the best starter for the Diamondbacks this season, but yeah, a little bit concerning to see what he's looked like the last couple times on the mound. The bullpen for the Diamondbacks obviously has been atrocious. 25th in the majors, a 5.23 bullpen ERA. They really rely a lot on their offense, and while they did put up 8 runs there in Game 1 of this series, I think they're going to find it a little bit tougher to do that here in Game 2. They are 5th in the majors in runs scored and 5th in on-base percentage, but I'm a little bit worried here about what the Diamondbacks are going to be able to do offensively against the Atlanta Braves, who come into this game fresh off of that loss. They're only 27-32 on the year, so not having a great time. They'll hand the ball in this game to Chris Sale, who's 3-3 on the season, a 3.06 ERA. He's fresh off of a very good start there against the Phillies. 6 innings, 2 hits, no runs allowed, struck out 8 and walked 3, in a 9-3 win there for the Braves in a pretty big game. So we'll see what he can do in this one. He's been lights out over his last 5 starts and has been lights out for quite some time this season. Got off to a little bit of a rough start, but the last time he faced the Diamondbacks, he was dominant and an 8-2 win there for the Braves. So loving a lot about Chris Sale right now. The Atlanta Braves bullpen's been way better than the Diamondbacks. It's top half of the majors with a 3.65 bullpen ERA. Also, the bats, I want to say good things, but I don't really have any good things to say. They're currently 22nd in the majors in runs scored. They are 15th in batting average, 14th in on-base percentage. They scored 3, 1, 5, 1, and 9 runs over their last few games. So we'll see what happens at the plate. Now, looking at the numbers for this game, the Diamondbacks are plus 145. The Braves are minus 175. We've got a total of 8. Arizona is 13-14 on the road, 13-12-2 to the over on the road. Atlanta, 17-11 at home, 18-8-3 to the under at home. I'm probably not going to take under 8 in this game, although I feel like it's at least slightly live. I do think we have to consider the Braves at minus 175 as a potential lock of the day because, guys, Chris Sale's on the mound. I don't really care too much if Merrill Kelly's on the mound. He's been bad his last couple of starts. The Diamondbacks offense not going to look great against Chris Sale. I'd be more than willing to wager on that. So definitely looking at the Braves here at minus 175 as a potential lock of the day. Next up, guys, looking at the Texas Rangers. They're going on the road in this one to take on the Tampa Bay Rays. The Rangers come into this game 29-32 on the season. Not exactly smooth sailing, losing 5-1 in Game 1 of this series. They'll hand the ball in this one to Kumar Rocker, who's coming back from that shoulder issue. We'll see what version of him we get. We've seen mostly bad this season, if I'm being completely honest. Now, he did have a decent start against Tampa Bay back on April 6th, and it was not a bad start, and we did eventually see the Rangers win that game, but now he's coming off the IL, and a shoulder issue can be kind of a big deal, so we'll see how that looks. The Rangers bullpen's been fine, not dominant, but not terrible. Their offense has been horrible, though, guys. They're 26th in the majors in runs scored. They are 28th in batting average. They're 29th in on-base percentage. They scored 1, 8, 0, 11, 0, 2, and 1 runs over their last several games. This is not a good offense, guys. There's no way around that. So we'll see what they can do here on the road against the Tampa Bay Rays, who have been alternating wins and losses recently. They're 31-29 on the season. They'll hand the ball in this game to Shane Baz, who's 4-3 on the year, a 4.92 ERA. This young guy got off to a blistering start. He's cooled off a little bit recently, which is not too shocking for a 25-year-old in the majors. His last time out, 5 2/3 innings, 7 hits, 3 earned runs in a 13-3 win there at Houston. So I mean, he'll take it for sure. The Rays will take it for sure as well. I mean, whenever he comes out of the game, the bullpen's been looking incredible, so that's a big help. Now, the offense, it's been showing some signs of life. 5-0, 16-1, 13, and 5 runs over their last few games. I mean, I'm not going to say this is a dominant offense, but it might be above average. They're 15th in the majors in runs scored and 16th in batting average, but swinging some pretty hot bats coming into this game. So, looking at the numbers here, the Rangers are plus 108. The Rays are minus 125. We got a total of 9 out there. Texas is 9-18 on the road, so a terrible road team. 15-11-1 to the under on the road. Tampa Bay is 18-19 at home, 21-13-3 to the under at home. So given these trends, guys, I'll definitely consider under 9 in this spot. I don't know if it's a pinned comment kind of situation, but I definitely think there's some value to be had here. I just worry a lot about Kumar Rocker in this spot. In terms of a side, I'll definitely be leaning towards Tampa Bay here. I think Rocker could struggle, and even if it's a close game, I'll take my chances with the Rays. Shane Baz on the mound makes this a little bit concerning, though. Next on the docket, we're looking at the Detroit Tigers going on the road to take on the Chicago White Sox. The Tigers actually take the 8-1 loss there yesterday at Chicago. A pretty embarrassing way to lose to the White Sox. They're getting blown out. Now, we'll see what they can do to bounce back, handing the ball in this one to Sawyer Gibson-Long, who's 1-0 to start. He was 1-0 back in 2023. Yeah, a 2.70 ERA. He's coming off an obviously very long stint on the IL. We'll see what version we get of him. Obviously, a pretty easy way to just get your, edge your way back into pitching in the major leagues, going up against the White Sox. So we'll see how that goes. Obviously, the Tigers' bullpen's been great this season. The offense has been very, very good. 4th in runs scored this year. They are 11th in batting average and 9th in on-base percentage. So I think they are, squarely in a solid bounce back spot here. Now, looking at the White Sox side of things, unfortunately, we don't have a confirmed starter for them, and that's why there are no numbers out for this game. Now, the White Sox coming off of a rare win there, that 8-1 win. I'm sure they're pumped about that, but things are obviously very up in the air with who's going to start this game. And yeah, in general, their pitching staff hasn't looked quite as bad as you would guess, but 20th in quality starts, 23rd in earned run average against, 19th in batting average against. You can kind of see where this is going, guys. The White Sox, not great. The bullpen for the White Sox, not as bad as last year, but still, bottom 7 in the majors, a 4.60 bullpen ERA. Pretty big yikes there. And the offense, well, it's not worst in the majors. It might be second worst. They are 29th in batting average, 29th in slugging percentage, and 27th in runs scored. So, unfortunately, can't give you guys a side on this one because there's no numbers out yet for this game. And obviously, Sawyer Gibson-Long, having not pitched in so long, is concerning as well. So we'll be checking back on this one. Make sure you guys are checking back that on the pinned comment to see if anything from these games with no numbers ends up making the cut. Rolling along here, guys, we're looking at the Kansas City Royals going on the road to take on the St. Louis Cardinals. The Royals come into this game 32-29 on the season. They just won 10-7 in Game 1 in St. Louis, so I'm sure that had to feel pretty great, taking advantage of something of a bullpen collapse there from the Cardinals. The Royals will hand the ball in this game to Noah Cameron, who's 2-1 to start his season, a 1.05 ERA. His last time out was against the Reds, 6 1/3 innings, 6 hits allowed, only a single earned run given up though, and walked 2, struck out 2. In general, he's looked very good, through his first 4 starts of the year. Hasn't given up more than 1 earned run in any of them. The Royals are only 2-2 in those starts, so that's a little bit more of an indictment of them than it is of anything that he's doing. He's throwing the ball really well, just not a lot of offense coming out of Kansas City. The bullpen has also been very good, 6th best in the majors, a 3.35 bullpen ERA. The offense coming off a 10-run game, I'm sure feels great, but over the course of the year, that's not really what it's looked like, guys. They're 28th in the majors in runs scored. They are 26th in on-base percentage. I mean, we'll see what goes on, but it's not looking too great for them at the plate. I know, bringing their young stud up from the minors is supposed to help, but I don't think it's going to be the huge difference maker that a lot of people are talking about it being. So we'll see what happens here. They're taking on the Cardinals, who come into this game struggling a little bit. They've actually lost 3 out of 4. They'll hand the ball in this one to Miles Mikolas, who's 4-2 on the season, a 3.90 ERA. His last start was more of a return to normal Mikolas form. I mean, 4 innings, 9 hits, and 4 earned runs against the slumping Orioles doesn't look great, but the Cardinals gave him plenty of run support. They eventually win that game 6-4. St. Louis is somehow 5-0 over his last 5 starts and having a really good time when he's on the mound. His last time pitching against the Royals wasn't too long ago. It was on the 17th of May. It was a 1-0 win for the Cardinals. He went 6 innings, gave up 2 hits, no runs, struck out 4, and walked 2. So that's very good history there for Mikolas in this specific matchup. The Cardinals bullpen has not been nearly as good as the Royals bullpen this year. Obviously, not having a great time out there in Game 1 of this series. A 4.08 bullpen ERA definitely could use some improving. And the offense, I mean, they put up 7 runs in this game. Usually put up 7 runs. You're going to expect to win. Over the course of the year, they're 10th in runs scored, 6th in on-base percentage, 4th in team batting average. So no slouches at the plate. But recently, I mean, 7, 1, 2, 1, 6, and 7 runs, respectively. Like, not hitting the ball as hot as they were early in the season. So looking at the numbers here, the Royals are plus 110. The Cardinals are minus 130. We've got totals out there of 8.5 or 8. The Royals are 12 and 16 on the road, 18, 9 and 1 to the under on the road. St. Louis is 19 and 8 at home, 14, 11 and 2 to the over at home. I think this is a pretty good spot to lean towards under 8.5. I don't think we're going to see another, huge offensive game like we saw in game 1. So under 8.5 certainly live here. In terms of a side, I'm not going to be backing the Cardinals with Michaelis on the mound, even though he's got good history against the Royals. Noah Cameron's been way too good recently, so we're going to be leaning towards the Royals at plus 110, and I'd be lying if I said this didn't have a chance to be our dog of the day. Next up, guys, we're looking at the Baltimore Orioles going on the road to take on the Seattle Mariners. The Orioles and Mariners are actually playing right now in the bottom of the 7th inning, so our Orioles pick is looking very, very live. They're up 3-1 in this spot, so hopefully they can, close things out and come away with a win. That would be their 4th straight win. Maybe they're turning it around here a little bit. Now, they'll hand the ball in this game to Cade Povich, who's 1-4 on the season, a 5.29 ERA, so not exactly lighting the world on fire. His last time out was against the Cardinals. That was a 6-4 loss for Baltimore. He went 4 2/3 innings, gave up 8 hits and 5 earned runs. He's looked better at times this season. Like, don't get me wrong, but just not a guy that I can really get too jazzed up about. Now, he's facing the Mariners, not a team he's faced yet this season, but I don't know, guys. Let me know in the comments if you're a big Cade Povich fan. I, unfortunately, am not really loving what I'm seeing. So we'll see what version of him we get in this game. We'll see if the Orioles bullpen can figure anything out. They're 4th worst in the majors, a 5.33 bullpen ERA. I'm not going to say embarrassing stuff, but it's not great. The offense is maybe finding its way a little bit here, but nothing amazing. They're currently sitting at 25th in the majors in runs scored, 25th in on-base percentage. Really, this has been probably the biggest fall-off of any unit or any part of any team this season is how much worse the Orioles' offense has been this year as opposed to last year. So we'll see if they can get it figured out here against the Mariners, who come into this game obviously needing a comeback in game 1 of this series. But they'll hand the ball here to Emerson Hancock, who's 2-2 to start his year, a 5.64 ERA. He hasn't, made a ton of starts. Like, he wasn't necessarily, he's missed some time this season, I believe, or maybe I'm confusing him with a different Seattle pitcher. But regardless, over his last 5 starts, I would say we've seen, 2, maybe or 3 really good ones and a couple problematic ones. His last time out, 5 1/3 innings against Washington, 2 hits, 2 runs allowed, not too bad there. Unfortunately for the Mariners, they lose that game 9-3 in extra innings. So we'll see what version of Emerson Hancock we get here. He's looked a lot better recently, so we'll give him some credit here. Seattle is 3-2 over his last 5 starts. So we'll see what that looks like. The bullpen for Seattle has obviously been very reasonable. Maybe not elite, but reasonable. A 3.77 bullpen ERA is up quite a bit from where it was at in some other points this season. The offense is a drastic turnaround from what we saw last year. Now, it hasn't been lighting the world on fire recently. They're down to 13th in runs scored and 22nd in batting average, but they're still 12th in on-base percentage, 12th in slugging percentage, and they've scored, 2, 5, 6, 3, and 0 runs over their last few games, which honestly, compared to last year, is amazing production from a pretty mediocre offense. So we'll see what we get from the Mariners in this one. Looking at the numbers, the Orioles are plus 115. The Mariners are minus 130. We've got a total of 8.5. Baltimore 10-19 on the road, 17-11-1 to the under on the road. Seattle 16-14 at home, 18-10-2 to the over at home. I think this is a pretty reasonable spot to back the Mariners at minus 130, especially if they do, end up losing game 1 here. I think Emerson Hancock's a better starter than Cade Povich. The Seattle offense has shown that it's better than the Baltimore offense over, a pretty big sample size so far this year. So definitely give me a lean here towards the Mariners. Rolling along here, guys, we're looking at the San Diego Padres going on the road to take on the San Francisco Giants. Now, we do have the Padres still live in this game. They're down 2-0. It's the top of the 7th inning, and they've got the bases loaded with 2 outs. So a pretty high leverage spot here for the Padres, who've been playing better here recently. They're up to 34-24 on the season. Handing the ball in this game to Nick Pivetta, who's 6-2 on the year, a 2.74 ERA. He's been excellent his last 3 starts in a row, and in 4 out of his last 5 starts. I mean, he had that weirdly bad start there at the Rockies, but other than that, the dude has been, I'm not going to say completely lights out, but pretty close to lights out. So loving what he did against the Pirates in his last start. 0 walks, 8 strikeouts, giving up 2 earned runs over 6 innings. not a lot wrong with that. We'll see what he can do here against the Giants. He faced them back on April 29th, and he didn't look terrible. 5 1/3 innings, 5 hits, 3 earned runs, 9 strikeouts, and 1 walk, and a 7-4 win there for the Padres. Back when the Padres were able to put up offense. So we'll see what we get out of Pivetta in this one. Liked what we've seen from him overall this season. The Padres bullpen's been very good, a 3.20 bullpen ERA. Not a lot of room to complain there. The problem has been their lack of offense down the stretch. I mean, Manny Machado's leading the way, batting around 300, but Fernando Tatis Jr. clearly, not himself recently. They're down to 18th in runs scored, 18th in on-base percentage. Not a team that you can really trust to put up a ton of runs. So we'll see if they can buck that trend here going up against the San Francisco Giants, who come into this game, obviously, playing right now. They're 33-27 on the year. They'll hand the ball in this game to Kyle Harrison, who is 23 years old. He's been, alternating back and forth kind of between the bullpen. Or no, he's been kind of seemingly switched over from the bullpen to the starting rotation. Now, hasn't faced a lot of tough competition. His last time out against the Nationals, 4 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs allowed. His last time out was against the Marlins, 5 innings pitched, 2-0 win there for the Giants. He only gave up a single hit while walking 3 and striking out 5. So I'm sure they're pretty high here on Kyle Harrison. We'll see how that goes down the stretch for them. The San Francisco bullpen's obviously been amazing, a 2.39 bullpen ERA. Pretty hard to improve on that. And the offense, that's where they need to find a way to improve, guys. It's been a bit rough. 16th in runs scored after a very hot start to the year, but 25th in batting average, 21st in on-base percentage. Not really one of the most elite offensive teams in the majors. And that was what they were looking like there for a minute. Turns out that's not exactly the case. So, looking at the numbers for this game, guys, the Padres are minus 115. The Giants are minus 105. We've got a total of only 7 in this game. San Diego's 14-14 on the road, 14-13-1 to the under on the road. The Giants 17-10 at home, 16-11 to the under at home. Kyle Harrison's looked pretty decent, and that Giants bullpen is pretty good. Pavetta's been so good. I want to be able to take an under here, but 7 seems pretty steep, so maybe a slight lean towards the under and a slight lean towards the Giants at home, but not a spot where I'm showing any significant value. Next up, guys, we got the Minnesota Twins going on the road to take on the Sacramento Athletics. The Twins come in this game 32-27 on the year. They're actually playing right now up 3-2 in the top of the 6th in Game 2 of this series. So we'll see how Game 3 goes as they hand the ball to Zebby Matthews, who's 0-1 to start his season, a 6.43 ERA. His last time out, 7 innings pitched, but gave up 6 hits and 4 earned runs, including a couple home runs there at Seattle. So not his best stuff. He did have a good start against the Royals, a mediocre start against the Brewers. So we'll see which version of Zebby Matthews we get here, but I'm not exactly expecting miracles out of this young guy. So we'll see what happens with him. The Twins bullpen, very good. 3rd best in the majors, a 3.19 bullpen ERA. That's not the problem. The problem is their kind of lack of offense here. I mean, they're 18th in the majors in runs scored, but 20th in batting average, 22nd in slugging percentage. I just can't get that fired up for this offense. I mean, they've scored 3 and 10 runs over the first 2 games of this series, so maybe they're turning something on here, but I'm not really ready to push the I'm in love with the Twins offense. So we'll see what they do here on the road against the Athletics, who are 23-38 on the season. They're riding a long losing streak. They'll hand the ball in this one to Jeffrey Springs, who is 5-4 this season, a 4.72 ERA. His last start, he got lambasted by Toronto guys. 2 innings pitched, 6 hits, 6 earned runs allowed. He walked 6 in that game, just clearly had no control over where the ball was going. So his last couple of starts looked pretty problematic, and that gives me reason for concern here. The Sacramento bullpen, we'll see what they get out of in this one, but it's been the worst in the majors this season, a 6.16 bullpen ERA. And while the offense got off to a very hot start, it's cooled off a bit. They're down to 14th in majors in runs scored, 6th in batting average, 5th in slugging percentage. So still a dangerous offense, but I kind of starting to question how really dangerous it is. So unfortunately, we don't have any numbers for this game. Once again, guys, so it's very important today that you get back and, get back on and check that pinned comment and see if we're adding any of these teams in, because there's a lot of them. I think there's 3 games with no lines out because of concerns about who's going to actually pitch. So this is a wait and see spot. Last but certainly not least, guys, we've got the New York Mets going on the road to take on the LA Dodgers. The Mets and Dodgers are playing right now with things all tied up at 4 apiece in the middle of the 5th inning. So we've got the Dodgers down there in the pinned comment. We are hoping that they can come through for us, but we'll see what happens. The Mets come into this game 38-22 on the year, handing the ball to Griffin Canning, who's 5-2 this season, a 3.23 ERA. But his last start was against the White Sox and he got shelled. His start before that was against the Dodgers and he got shelled. So gonna have to figure out what the heck is going on here with Griffin Canning. And he's got to go up against the Dodgers again. Not exactly the easiest task. he's had a rough go of it recently, and I'm starting to worry a little bit about a potential, injury or something that is being, at least mostly concealed. So we'll see what he can do. Mets bullpen has obviously been very good this year, second best in the majors, a 2.86 bullpen ERA. The offense, they've been getting the job done recently, but is this an elite offense? They're 12th in runs scored, 17th in batting average, 7th in on-base percentage, but they've had some pretty important guys, Soto comes to mind, who have not really lived up to expectations this season. So we'll see how that goes. Their offense is a big problem here. They're taking on the Dodgers, who come into this game 36-24 on the year. They're now somehow down 5-4 in the top of the fifth, which I thought they were already past that. So I don't know, I might have to turn that game on here in a second because that's a pretty big yikes. The Dodgers will hand the ball in this game to Tony Gonsolin, who's 3-1 on the year, a 5.23 ERA. His last start was against the Yankees, 6 innings, 6 hits, and 5 earned runs. Does not fill me with optimism. He pitched against the Mets back on the 24th of last month and went 5 innings, gave up 7 hits and 4 earned runs. So not somebody I'm super high on at the moment. The Dodgers bullpen hasn't been particularly good either, a 3.99 bullpen ERA. And the offense is maybe falling off here a little bit. I mean, Ohtani's been doing his thing. Freddie Freeman's batting .368, but despite being first in runs scored and first in batting average, they've scored 4 runs in their current game, 3 runs the game before that, 3 runs the game before that. So not the kind of numbers we're used to seeing from the Dodgers. So looking at the numbers here, the Mets are plus 125, the Dodgers are minus 145. We've got a total of 9.5. The Mets are 14-15 on the road, 18-10-1 to the under on the road. The Dodgers are 21-10 at home, 20-11 to the over at home. Despite this being a pretty big number, I think over 9.5 is live in this game, but even better than that, I like the Dodgers here once again. I'll fade Griffin Canning. I don't love Tony Gonsolin on the mound, so minus 145 seems like a little bit of a steep price, but I do think this is definitely a good spot to back the Dodgers because of Griffin Canning's recent struggles, bad history against the Dodgers, and those Dodgers bats usually come to play. That's all the games we have for today, guys. Hit that like button for good luck on all of your bets. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Get in the comments. Let me know any questions you have on today's slate. Get over to stumpthespread.com and get on that free email list. There's great information right there, straight to your inbox every single day. Also, while you're over there, guys, check out those premium picks if you're interested in signing up for anything like that. And we will see you guys tomorrow right back here, same time, same place, for more sports betting action.